Before we get stuck into the workshop and the world of skills-based workforce management, I want to give you a quick intro into who we are and what we do at WithYouWithMe. So my name is Kady Marriott. I'm an associate partner here at WithYouWithMe. I'm joined today by Toby Wolf, one of our SFIA-certified practitioners. SFIA, known as the Skills Framework for the Information Age, is a globally recognised skills framework. We're really delighted to have everyone here today as we explore this topic. It's front of mind for lots of HR and team leaders at the moment, and it's all about how to get started in a practical way with the concept of skills-based workforce management and hopefully make it not too scary for everybody. So the slide here sums up WithYouWithMe pretty well, hopefully. So we're a global HR tech company, and our vision is to reduce underemployment and unemployment and really help organisations to fully utilise their workforces by continually evolving the skills that they have into the skills that they need. We've been championing this for a long time, this skills first mindset. We really focus on a person's skill and potential rather than experience. And we've been doing this for almost 10 years. During this time, we've been lucky enough to be afforded a front row seat to the workforce strategies for some of the world's most progressive and inspiring organisations and HR leaders. So you'll be able to hear more about what we do as we work our way through today's session and our follow-up workshops that we have planned. But before we look into future-proofing your workforce, we wanted to highlight the recently released Mercer Global Talent Trends Report. So the report was super interesting. It's a bit of a long read, but you can use AI to help you if people are short on time. I know that's a problem these days. And it really highlighted the need for organisations to unlock potential, with a key focus being the value of skills as a lever for productivity, being used more strategically for long-term workforce planning. And we know that in today's fast-moving economy, staying competitive as a business demands two critical capabilities: productivity and cultivating a digital-first culture. Now, neither is possible without one shared denominator, and that is skills. Skills are the enabling currency that allows both to function, to evolve, and create measurable impact. Now, these are valuable insights as we look into how to make effective use of skills and skill frameworks for workforce planning, and they set us up really nicely for today's workshop. Okay, so during today's session, we will guide you through our approach to skills, the value of and how to build a skills framework, and how SFIA, the skills framework for the information age, and potential will help you map out the skills within your team and organisation. The intent today is that you walk away armed with information on how you can get started with this journey. And then if you're interested in moving to the next step in the process, which is focused on skills mapping your people to identify professional development and internal mobility options, we'll then share a little about the next workshop that's coming up to enable that for you. We'll stay on at the end of today's session as well, so you can ask us questions and we can discuss next steps. But for now, I'll hand over to Toby, who will take you through the next sort of 15 or 20 minutes.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kady, and morning, everyone. Just to start with, we're just going to have a brief look at some of the responses in the poll, and it is obviously interesting to see and helpful to understand where on the path your organisation is in terms of understanding your workforce skills. So having had a look, we've got a bit of a mix. Some of you have a clear view in terms of what skills you already have, which is obviously a great starting point. Not that you have to be there yet. Interesting to see that knowledge sharing and sort of seeing how other organisations have found success and maybe struggled in certain areas is another element to see, and that's come up quite high. And then quite relevant today, I guess, is access to tools that can map, assess and visualise your skills, and today's focus being on skills frameworks and elements across there. Hopefully with this workshop today can help provide some guidance. So I'm going to kick on with where we are And in terms of, the focus today is very much on skills. And it's really important to start with the fundamental concept of what a skill is and why understanding this is vital when we look at people from a skill-based perspective. We often hear of skills being listed as tasks. For example, you're proficient in Excel, JavaScript coding, or running reports, or so on. Well, we see skills very much as per the definition. So that being the ability to perform a task competently. Now, skills, as we know, are developed through learning and through experience, and they encompass both technical aspects. You might think of things such as software development, but also behavioural capabilities. So, for example, leadership. In addition, skills are best measured by proficiency levels. So enabling people to be measured and improved over time. Defining a skill as such supports our understanding of individuals fitting to roles based on their ability rather than what might often be the case, purely experience and their qualifications. Now, this being said, this is the approach that we tend to take when supporting organisations with understanding their skills, and building a skills framework starts with what we say as clarity. So clarity is the clarity around the roles and their alignment to organisational strategic goals. From here, our second step is understanding capability. So capability is starting to uncover people's natural strengths and validating opportunities for growth and learning. With clear alignment and understanding on capability, we can pursue closure. So closing any skill gap by creating learning opportunities and building pathways that are targeted on what supports individuals' needs and organisational development. Now, today's session, we're going to focus on clarity, and that will be looking at rapidly understanding the skills your organisation needs to thrive. So our guide to building a skills framework is practical. It's based on learnings from working with organisations who've started from scratch, or some of those who have got stuck along the way and needed support. The following 3 steps will ensure you are set up for success. So step 1 is all about understanding your business needs. This is defining the why. Step 2 is about creating a skills taxonomy. So gathering your corporate information and aligning it to a trusted framework. And step 3 is about piloting and iterating what you've put together. So testing the approach and looking to make improvements. So let's now dive into each of these in a little bit more detail. So before building a skills framework, we obviously need to start with defining why we're doing it. Take a step back and consider a clear initiative or a goal that you are looking to achieve as a group. Is it for workforce planning, maybe talent management, or maybe it's about learning and development? We also need to consider who are the key stakeholders. So whether it be HR, business leaders, L&D teams, or simply a team leader and their team members. This element is very critical. Their input shapes a framework that is practical, relevant, and widely adopted. Adopting a skills-based approach isn't just structural change. It's a change management exercise. So a stakeholder group helps refine the approach, build buy-in, and create advocates across the organisation. By taking this thoughtful, phased approach, we can successfully embed skills-based thinking, make it easier to align roles, develop talent, and future-proof the workforce. Step 2. So this is all about developing a skills taxonomy. This is key to aligning workforce planning with business needs. A well-structured approach ensures clarity, consistency, and shared understanding of roles, skills, and career progression. The process of developing a skills taxonomy starts with gathering role information. Now, job descriptions, they are great and they're a great starting point, but they do often lack clarity. To truly define skills, workshop key tasks with your pilot group to understand what the role really requires. Incorporating any role leveling you might use and mapping out the organisation hierarchy does further help to understand responsibilities, expectations, and growth opportunities. Once this information is in place, it's then about choosing the right skills framework, and this is clearly essential. A structured framework helps define and organise skills effectively and will include descriptions, proficiency levels, responsibility levels, and often behaviours or capabilities. Now, before we move on to step 3, I want to show you how to move from a skills taxonomy to a skills framework. To do this, we'll take a look at SFIA. Some of you may have heard of SFIA, the skills framework for the information age. So a little bit background on what SFIA is. So SFIA is a globally recognised skills and competency framework. It provides a common language and structure for defining the skills, the behaviours and knowledge needed by business and technology professionals across industries. Why use it? Well, it's brilliant. It's flexible, it's broad and seamlessly integrates with existing ways of working. Unlike some frameworks that are siloed to specific job groups, like maybe marketing or finance, SFIA covers a wide range of sectors. It moves beyond traditional job descriptions by focusing on what people can actually do, rather than just years of experience or formal qualifications. And how does it work? So SFIA breaks down job roles into specific skills and behaviours. It provides clear descriptions of skills and levels of responsibility. Its standardised approach allows organisations to consistently assess expertise, match people to roles, and plan workforce development. Now, with regular updates driven by industry practitioners, it absolutely remains relevant in an evolving job market. By using SFIA, organisations gain a structured, adaptable and future-proof approach to skills management. Now, the next couple of slides that I show you will start to highlight what this actually looks like. Okay, so here is SFIA. Now, SFIA, as we've mentioned, is great at breaking down job descriptions into skills. However, it is the generic attributes and levels of responsibility that are the foundation of SFIA. So here we have an overview of these foundations. The generic attributes describe how professionals operate within their roles and contribute to help the organisation. They also help organisations assess and plan for professional growth and align roles with business goals. So when you combine these with professional skills, they provide a complete picture of what is expected from individuals at each level. This is then combined with the levels of responsibility. Now, the levels of responsibility detail the behaviours necessary for effectiveness and the specific knowledge needed at each of the 7 levels. They provide a consistent way to describe the progression of skills and responsibilities within each professional role. Think of it as a bit of a staircase with 7 steps as you move up. So working through this, or looking briefly at these, if we start at level 1, we can see here it's about following. So it's about you're potentially new, you're learning the ropes and following instructions closely. So you can see it's quite a junior sort of position or step. Step 2 is about assist. So sorry, level 2 is about assist. So you're starting to help out, you're starting to do things on your own, but still with some guidance. Level 3, it's about applying your skills. So it's about you can now do tasks independently. Level 4, also known or labelled as enable. So you're not only doing things by yourself, but you're also now starting to help others to do their jobs. Level 5, ensure and advise. You're making sure things are done right and give you advice to others. Level 6, initiate and influence. So you come up with the new ideas and you're starting to influence decisions. And then finally, level 7, you're starting to set strategy, you're inspiring, you're mobilizing teams. So you're really leading the whole project, making the big decisions and inspiring everyone to work together. Now, we've talked about levels of responsibility. We've talked about generic attributes. Here we can see how skills align to each of the levels of responsibility. Context is really key here. So the specific professional skills required will vary depending on the individual's role, responsibilities, and the organizational context. No professional skills have all 7 levels of responsibility. There are skills which clearly won't require the need for maybe performing routine tasks, so in level 1, but then at the other end of the spectrum, some skills aren't required to set organizational strategy at level 7. Let's have a look using an example of business modeling. So business modeling being the skill, it's an essential skill for someone such as a data analyst, and we can see that it's covered by levels 2 through to 6. As we move from level 2 to 6, we can see that the levels show an incremental progression in skills and responsibilities. So a junior data analyst role may require the skill at level 3, while a senior data analyst may require the role at level 5. So we can see as we work our way through, the standard or the role becomes slightly more challenging as we make our way through. So let's just have a look at those, think about those last 2 slides and summarize what's being covered. SFIA's approach of combining professional skills and generic attributes across the 7 levels of responsibility provides a comprehensive framework for competence, therefore allowing organizations and individuals to assess skills and behaviors and evaluate both skills and behavioral attributes accurately. It also allows us to identify development needs, so recognizing that where particular gaps may be, and also current capabilities. And then finally, it also lets us communicate expectations. So it uses a common language to define roles and responsibilities and career progression pathways. SFIA's widespread success and global reach stems from its reflection of industry reality, while its flexibility allows it to be applied across a wide range of business and professional functions. So we've been across step 1 and step 2 and had a look at SFIA. We're now going to revert back to step 3 in this process of putting together a skills framework. So step 3 is pilot and iterate. This is really the skills framework creation phase. As has just been discussed, implementing a skills framework is not just about defining the roles, it's about ensuring clarity, alignment, and usability. Building and validating the framework is the final important step in getting started, and a focused, controlled pilot provides a chance to check your approach before scaling. We found a pilot helps prove impact early by using real workforce data to validate skills and uncover quick wins that drive smarter workforce planning. And it also reduces risk by identifying and addressing challenges early and allowing for a low risk, high confidence approach to scaling. At the same time, it also builds momentum. We start to create internal champions. We're generating success stories, and we're strengthening leadership outcomes with visible outcomes. So having delivered many successful skills pilots, I wanted to briefly show you how our technology platform Potential helps us to make this happen. So as one of the earliest pioneers in this space, we like to start with skills frameworks and mapping job roles down to the specific capability and skill level. So here you can see a job description for a data analyst. And now firstly, within this job description, we're going to identify the key responsibilities. What we're able to do is take this job description and use our machine learning tool in combination with SFIA to translate the detail into standardized SFIA skills. The next step is to assign SFIA levels, remembering that each SFIA skill operates within 7 levels of responsibility. So a data analyst may have skills ranging from level 2 through to level 5. This then enables us to create a skills profile using all the essential skills, usually between 6 to 10 skills. So as you can see here, from the job description, we are able to take not just the professional skills, but also the knowledge and behaviours for this particular role. Our platform Potential allows us to do this at scale and does a lot of the legwork for customers by essentially helping them assess current skill level and overlaying that information with an individual's potential to learn a skill. Using data, we can clearly map out learning opportunities, which will ensure individuals excel in their current role, while also identifying upskilling pathways matched to natural strengths. it's absolutely essential. It's an essential exercise for organisations to get to know every employee and understand how they can support team members in their current role and future careers within the organisation. At a wider level, by integrating a skills framework into a platform such as ours, we can uncover insights that support skill assessments, gap analysis, and continuous learning at scale. This enables organisations to unlock the full potential of their workforce, enabling smarter workforce planning, reducing risk, and directing learning investments where they matter most. This maximises value by identifying and leveraging untapped skills within your existing teams. So to wrap up, this view pretty much summarises the real value of a skills framework. They have the ability to support many initiatives across an organisation. Adopting a skills-based approach and highlighting how skills underpin all aspects of work really does help accelerate change and deliver meaningful business outcomes. To recap everything that's been covered in today's workshop, it's really important that we obviously we go through the best approach to getting started. So we've aligned to a business goal or initiative. We're making sure we find a pilot team. We're making sure we are able to gather the role information and choose a skills framework. And then finally, use a platform that supports engagement and unlocks insights. Now, we started out by asking you about how your skills journey, about your skills journey, and having now learned the key steps to implement a skills first approach, we really hope and trust that you'll go away with some valuable insights for moving forward and building that foundation, that of a skills framework. Before we go, there are a few little elements I'd like to add. First of all, thank you very much for your time today. There are some useful pieces of information that we'd like to share. First of all, we will send a post-workshop email to all attendees, which will include today's deck and a link to sign up to our follow-up workshop on Thursday, the 29th of May. We'd also like to offer a free role description skills mapping using SFIA. So if you're interested, you can send us up to 3 of your organization's roles, and we will skills map those based on the SFIA framework. So you can see how we're able to get a job description into skills. So if you are interested as well, as we said at the start, please do stay online just if you have any questions or any discussion points. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much for your time. As we said, if anyone does have any questions, please do feel free to stay on.
I've just put one in the chat. I found it quite interesting speaking to some customers about why something like Excel isn't a skill, which you touched on earlier, Toby. I just wondered, why did frameworks not include Excel as a skill, and what would it class that skill under?
Yeah, thanks, Sophie. So frameworks really look, what our skills frameworks really look actually for the specific ability for someone to complete a task. So Excel, we would really highlight as a task. So you're able to be proficient at Excel is you're proficient at a particular task. Whereas actually we break that down further and look at what are the skills within or that are required to be proficient in Excel. So it might be linked into data management, it might be linked into analytics, but it's actually we break that further down. So this is what was sort of mentioned within the workshop about the fact that we look at skills specifically rather than looking at tasks. So that hopefully that clarifies the difference between the two.
Great, thanks.
That's all right. Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, I've got one. Hi, thanks.
Yeah, go ahead. That's all right.
So I first came across you about a year or so ago, where I was doing something kind of in parallel to what you're doing, but very, very, very small. I think we met and had a chat at being able to use the platform, but we're too small for using the platform. Yeah, numbers don't make sense. But what you're doing is great, and kind of the approach I've taken with the company that I've got involved in, and then have seen that you've actually been doing something similar for the last 10 years. So it's good to see that parallel. In terms of your background with SFIA and becoming accredited, do you see that as quite pivotal for your success? Or, if an organization is taking this on board, would you recommend that they also become accredited through SFIA as well, so it just becomes a deeper understanding of what this is all about?
Yeah, so definitely so. I mean, we are, as you've sort of mentioned there, an accredited partner of SFIA, and clearly that it is their framework that we are very much in use of. We do use other frameworks where it's required by clients, but the value of not only having your organization linked into SFIA, but then also if there are people within your organization, Warren, who are interested and are wanting to get ahead of the game in terms of their skills, becoming practitioners or consultants is absolutely valuable. The one sort of key thing to make sure that you're doing is very much along the lines of making sure whatever, if you are looking down that SFIA framework, making sure that you're sort of on top of things, because the constant changes are pretty, like SFIA 8 to 9 sort of happened within the last 6 months. Although the whole framework changes over 3 years, there are constant changes that are happening. SFIA, for instance, have just brought in a little bit of an assessment for people to do individually, so that might be another option as well, where members of your team could take part in that. But both on an individual level and an organization-wide level, particularly if you are using your roles and linking them to the SFIA framework, I would absolutely, and this is obviously there's total value in doing so for sure, Warren.
No, that's good to know, because I'm the one that's running it. I'm up to where you are now in terms of, but there's only six employees, 6 academy, right. We use it as an L&D. So they're tracking against SFIA 1 and 2. That's a progression tool. We're mapping against the 7 or 8 key skills which we identified. They're also thresholds for their attributes, their skill, business skills and complexity, autonomy. So they're tracking that. So it's, but we're tracking it all very much manually because of the number. There's only a small number, so we can kind of manage that. But we're looking to maybe scale this out. So that's where obviously a platform is.
Yeah, well, as you said, if you want to send us a few sort of occupations, job descriptions that you think, maybe you've done it manually, and then see what we come up with, it might be quite an interesting way to do it. We'll do that free of charge. Just drop us an email, and it would be it's because we're as much as sort of what you've done manually, we don't want to take away what you've done there, but it might be quite an interesting way to see how we do it, and actually do the results come out similar, the same, somewhat different. There's no rights or wrongs as such. So.
No, that's good. And also, like say, SFIA 9's now brought up 12, 14 new skills or whatever it is. And with hindsight, 2 or 3 of them would have been more applicable for our industry. But what do you do in that situation? How do you manage that when something like that happens?
Yeah, so our platform will update. So as it went from SFIA 8 to SFIA 9, our platform updated with it, and then any skills that have changed for our clients that are on the platform, it would say, please have a look at your current skill set and see if there are any skills that you need to update. So it's in that essence. So generally, as you say, there was definitely some changes of skills and within skills and levels, but the across the board, I guess it wasn't huge. So we didn't notice that many people or clients having to change elements of it. But it's an online update that sort of that our clients would take part in, which sort of takes, it depends on how many roles and how big their organization is. But that's the process we went through.
Yeah, Tris, thanks for that.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.